What is this? Connecting to audio.
You don't want Beth Wexler.
I love it!
Oh my God!
I love it!
No way!
This is recording. This is awesome.
No way! This just happened yesterday.
How?
No way! This is the best thing I've ever seen.
How are you guys? Where are you in the, look at me, I'm covering my gray hair. Don't look at me. I look like Kevin, except I'm just the gray version and a woman.
Awesome.
I mean, in other words, I have COVID hair, and you girls look like you're being interviewed for a TV show.
And to refer to Beth Wexler instead of Wexler.
I can tell you is I'm like, well, this is the coolest thing. I just have to crash it. So anyhow, I love these women. I mean, the Beth Wexler, Joey Gault women. Love Amy. Kevin, love you. You're not a woman. But I love being confused. It is the most flattering thing. It's the best. So go have fun.
All right. Bye, Bethy.
Bye, Beth. Thanks for crashing.
I loved it. See you.
Good morning at Properties. It's Tuesday, August 11th. I'm Amy Corr, and I'm joined by Kevin Van Eck, who's live out of our Goose Island office. Thank you for joining us. Grab a mug and join us for another episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Yes, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Make sure your coffee mug's full. We've got a great episode for you today. Before we get started with these two great at Properties brokers who are partners, and before we talk with them, I just want to remind you about tomorrow's session, the Ninja Accelerator session, where we're going to talk about working with buyers, Act 2. And the whole focus of the session tomorrow at 9:30, where Karma and I are going to be hosting, is revolving around eliminating buyer regret. So please register in the Agent app. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Thanks, Kevin. So I am super excited to have Beth Wexler and Joey Gault with us this morning. This dynamic duo has been selling together for over 20 years. Based out of our Highland Park office, they have developed a great business and run one of our top teams on the North Shore. Good morning, ladies.
Hi.
You look like you're in Hollywood or something outside. I love it.
My glasses. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So I want to ask you, so the two of you have had a really long-standing partnership. I mean, 20 years is actually longer than most marriages. I'm not sure if I've actually ever seen you guys fight. So I want to know, what is the secret of your success in working together?
I think it's work ethic, right?
Yeah, I think both work ethic. We both work our butts off. And I think that we get along so well. We never fight. We are always just
You do
easy
sometimes get annoyed with me.
I get sometimes annoyed with her because she gets a little bit bitchy. But no, I'm kidding. We get along great. We never fight about money, which is like the biggest thing that partners can fight about. We're always fair. We get along. I mean, I don't know what else you think.
Yeah, no, we both work 24/7.
We talk when we wake up. We talk when we go to sleep.
Yeah.
Surprised we don't talk at 3 a.m.
Beth starts texting me at 5 a.m. with Liz, and then
Yeah.
I catch up when I wake up at 8.
So I think it's just that we get along great, and I don't know, we're on the same page, basically.
Well, I think that's super important. You know, your partnership kind of reminds me a lot of Mike and Thad. You know, I just think that there is just a natural sort of attraction, or, you know, a nice kind of yin and yang that works really well together. But you guys get along really well. But I'm also going to say that I've heard other brokers love working with you. In fact, I've never heard any brokers give bad feedback or say a bad thing about the two of you. And, you know, I would constantly get compliments. You know, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think that's what kind of we strive ourselves on, our reputation. And we feel like one deal is never important to just ruin a relationship with the broker or make us look bad. The money is just not worth it. Our reputation is long-term. And I think that it, you know, when you go to make an offer on a property, people like working with us. When we have a listing, people like coming to show our listings. I think it's super important.
And we just try to do the right thing. Do what we would, or I guess, act how we would want somebody else to treat us.
Right.
Yeah, same. I can share the same thing that Amy just said, which is I have never, it's always been very positive. And I know I worked with you too as well when I was selling, and I had a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I think that I remember doing a deal with you, Kevin, at at the Domain building in Chicago when we were city brokers mostly, and you were just starting out in the business, and you were great. So,
well, thanks. This is a big love fest. So you run a team, and so with that team, you have a wide array of experience on the team, and you do have newer team members. And so I wanted to hear a little bit about how you've kept your experience and specifically your newer brokers busy during COVID. What have you had them working on in order to grow their business?
So it's been hard. It was hard in the beginning. Really, we tried to do Zoom meetings every week, right out of the gates. And then as things picked up again, everyone's schedules were crazy, so it kind of fell off. But for the newer people, I feel like we tried to help them identify buildings or neighborhoods to farm. In fact, a girl on our team that just started farmed a neighborhood in Deerfield and just got her first listing.
I know, we were so happy.
We're so happy because it's confusing to start right now.
And we always say you have to go back to the basics when you start. And even we do sometimes, like you have to really be the expert at whatever you do. So whatever you gear yourself up to do, whether it's a building or it's a neighborhood, you just have to know all of the market data, the active, pending, and solds. Give them good information. That's all they care about. They don't care about, a recipe, I don't think. They just want data and information, and we think that's what works. And we tell people that are newer just to write a letter. If they don't have money you do a postcard, just pop a letter in the mail with a handwritten envelope. Everyone opens a handwritten envelope. And that's been really successful for a lot of our newer team members.
It's great advice. And now looking a little bit bigger picture, running and organizing a team, it takes work, right? So what are the things that you put in place to keep your team organized? You just mentioned, you were doing weekly Zoom meetings. What else have you done or do you do consistently to keep your team in order?
So Liz Salinas, who's really our third partner, she has created amazing systems. We have an internal handbook that we have that everyone can refer to. And with that, in terms of keeping everyone in order, we're just always here. We're just always available.
Correct. Where it's not like trust me, we get too busy. Everyone gets too busy. It's too hard to manage everyone meeting all the time. So basically our phone is our meeting. They can call us at any time, ask us questions, and we're always available to answer as much as we possibly can. So I think that's really what we try to do for them as well.
It just works. It's been working.
We have a system in place that, because all we were doing was group texting all day long, like, what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that, do this, do that. And now we started a system that I don't know if other people use, but it's monday.com.
A task management app software, and it has saved us because everyone has to be able to shut down at some point, and we're just group texting all the time. And now if you can just stay organized and assign tasks to people on our team, it's been amazing, really beneficial.
Right. And we also have an assistant that Liz is actually in charge. She handles we have an assistant, Wendy, that does our brochures for us. She does keys, she does everything. Listing input, MLS drafts, and then Liz we call her our managing partner, and she basically oversees the whole team. So we feel like we have it down, kind of.
Taken a while.
It's been a transition over the years.
Well, I think, it's tough. Having a team can be really exciting, but you also have to really recognize that you have multiple people, and you need to kind of figure out how to make it a value for yourself, but then also for them. So you've got Wendy in place, I understand, and she's your unlicensed assistant, and then Liz is sort of your team manager kind of behind the scenes. But tell me a little bit more about what are the roles then for the remaining brokers on your team? Because so many people who are looking to build one, I always think they're so curious to understand how they're structured.
Right. So I think a lot of teams in the city, people work in the same geographical area. What's different for us is that we're kind of scattered all over the place. So like to your point about having team meetings, we're not all working on the same things all the time.
Everyone's basically an independent contractor doing their own business. We're there to guide them, to help them get business if they need, help them. If they need us to come on a listing appointment with them, we're happy to do so. But people usually get the hang of it after a while and they're off and running. But we have people in the city. We have Scott in the western suburbs. We have, or the Northwest, sorry, maybe delete that part. And we have North Shore agents. So we have Lake Forest. I mean, we kind of have it covered. And everybody, like the best part about our team is that we basically are all friends. Like somehow, some way, the way that we all got brought together was we knew each other, we grew up together, we had a connection somehow, some way. And I think it just makes it really fun too.
Cool. So in listening to you, it's clear. And also talking with other team leaders, running a team, it's a big responsibility and it takes a lot of work. And so there are brokers, though, daily that contemplate starting a team and whether they do want to take on that responsibility. What are a couple pieces of advice that you would give to those agents that are thinking about starting a team?
So I would say you have to be prepared to take away from your own business and be willing to teach. And you can't just throw people in. And that's actually been really hard during this time, feeling like we're not in the office. So we can't hold somebody's hand through an entire process. And
that's been hard for us lately. And we've actually had to hire people to help train some of the newer agents just because we are too busy and we recognize that. So we can't do it all, but we do think it's beneficial in the long run because you have a whole, we have our inner app. And so if anyone needs a roofer or a recommendation for a decorator, handyman, whatever, we have our own internal team chat. So that goes around, I think, a lot. We're constantly texting with everybody internally.
Did we not answer your question at all?
Do you have to delete that?
We don't have to delete anything. You answered the question. I think it's tough, though, because, I think a lot of times you two are so good at it and you've been doing it for such a long time that it might be more difficult to articulate what the most important parts are of starting a team, right? Because you've got all the pieces in place. When you start talking about the different roles and positions, you're down the road quite a bit from someone who is just starting out, thinking about adding one assistant or adding on a buyer's agent or something like that. And the difference, like you said, you cover a big region as opposed to, maybe there are 3 or 4 brokers on a team all working within the same small, portion of the city. Right. So, but I think, why I think your advice has been helpful so far is that just describing what you go through in managing, organizing, the fact you have to use outside resources like Monday, like big project management tools to be able to do it shows that it's not easy, that not everybody can do it.
Right. And it's so different too, Kevin, because it's different for us here on the North Shore than maybe it is in the Northwest suburbs. I was talking to another team today that was just asking for advice on bringing on a buyer's agent. And, we were talking about just different price points and comfortability with not having complete control. So we do the same thing that, this team was asking us. We're constantly asking other teams how they run efficiently and effectively.
Right. It's kind of a learning curve as we go, and we've just improved over time. I would hope to think. I don't know.
Well, I just think it's always a work in progress, right? Because the markets change, people ebb and flow, and it's you kind of have to stay dynamic and fluid with what the market is bringing, And so this is kind of the question that I've got for you guys. You have been doing this for a long time, 20 plus years. You've seen a number of different markets, right? You've seen a number of different markets, and we know that it goes at a fast pace, servicing clients, and, it can kind of be a grind. What continues to motivate the two of you to keep at it, continue to work so hard, and to continue to build a team?
I mean, first and foremost, we love working together.
Right. We have fun. We have fun together. I don't think I could just be a stay-at-home mom at this point in my life. I love my kids dearly, and I do think it's great because there's flexibility. I could go see them, in their basketball games, whatever, tennis. But I think that it's important for us to have fun also and not get too burnt out. Like right now, we are totally burnt out, full disclosure, but there's times that we're not. I mean, just.
And at the end of the day, like we both love helping people. We both love people generally.
Right.
And I think that's what motivates me every day when I wake up is that we just want to do the right thing and problem solve.
Joey's the problem solver. I'm more like, let's go get the business. I don't like to sit in an office. I'd like to just go out and talk to people. I think
Ultimate salesperson.
Yeah, that's like my biggest piece of advice to anyone is just to like really, really tell everyone and anyone what you do. Everyone likes to talk about real estate, and you're going to get business. I think it's not that hard. I think that the hard part for me is this part that I delegate, which is the paperwork and all of that stuff that goes. I'm just terrible at it. So that part, I feel like you have to pay out money to make money. So just do what you're good at and get rid of the things that you're not good at and hire people to help you. Because if you do everything yourself and take so much control, you're never going to have a life or increase your business. We don't have a life really, but you would have a worse life for sure. I think that you need to have a balance, and we're trying to get back to that.
Cool. It's such great advice. There's so many little pieces of information, even if you didn't intend to share it as advice. I think we've learned a lot here. A couple of things. One is that I'm really excited to hear is that you as a team collaborate with other teams. And I think that's part of the value within App Properties and the culture and everything that's been developed here. The other thing is that you've been able to work together. You've essentially found the best partner available to you by realizing what your strengths are. And I think that's a great lesson to learn is that don't spend your time, doing things that you aren't strong at or things that you aren't good at. Find who can fill the gaps and complement each other.
Yeah, and if Selena's ever quit, then we quit, just so you know. Or I quit, at least, because
I still have to work.
Joey still has to work, but I am for sure out. If Liz quits, I am done. If Wendy quits, I'm really done. But yeah, no, like you have to surround yourself with people that are going to help you improve over time if you want to increase your business, I think. So otherwise you just can't handle it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We could talk, I'm looking forward to having you on again because I know there's many more topics. So if you're willing, we will do this again.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming on. It was great.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Fill your coffee mug for the rest of the day. And remember, there's no better time than now
to do it now.